The Business Army, May the 24th, 2019. Interior, a veterans hospital, midday. Medium close-up of a wounded man lying in the white sheets of a well-starched bed. A hand reaches out and touches the wounded man on the forehead. The camera slowly zooms back. We see a wiry older man looking with concern at the wounded man. Beside the wounded man is a nurse and doctor. Wiry older man. Does he ever awake? Doctor. Not in the regular sense of the word, General. The wiry older man sighs. Older man. And the others? Can they sense what's around them? Doctor. Well, in this ward only a few. In the next ward we have the amputees. They're in bad shape too. But they're lively fellows. Interior, the next ward in the hospital. The wiry older man is giving a speech. Men so severely wounded that most of them cannot achieve any mobility without outside help listen to him. Wiry older man. I just want to say, as long as you fellows are put out, this country has a debt of honor to you. And I know how it is. I know the position you're in. The government hardly helps. The Legion talks about helping, but it doesn't do much either. Murmurs of agreement. Wiry older man. And that's wrong. You fellows sacrificed in the true sense of the word. There are some people who say that the fellow who asks for assistance is looking for something extra, some kind of special treatment, and is some kind of bum. That's wrong. You're the ones who are owed, not the other way around. Clapping. A few patients cheer. Doctor smiling. Thank you, General Butler. Thank you for coming. Butler. I'm doing these boys a disservice. I'm just talking too. Doctor. You've lifted their spirits. Butler. For an hour or two. They deserve better than that. General Butler begins to leave. One wounded vet. Here's to General Butler, an officer who cares. Hip hip. Other vets. Hooray! First vet. Hip hip. Other vets. Hooray! As cheering surrounds General Butler, the camera pulls back in a slow zoom. We see the room, then the hospital window, then the hospital itself. And as the building shrinks in size, so do the cheers emanating from within it. Fade. Exterior, the prosperous suburban neighborhood of Newton, Pennsylvania. The sound of birds chirping. A long shot of a tree-lined road. A chauffeured Packard limousine drives along it. SFX, the smooth thrum of the limousine's engine. Medium shot of the limousine pulling into the highway of a large but not ostentatious house. Exterior, the front of the house. Angle of the limousine as two well-appointed men get out. One we recognize as Gerald McGuire. The first man says something to the chauffeur, who nods and restarts the ignition of the car. The other, McGuire, dressed in a heavy woolen suit and pork pie hat and sweating as a result, places his hands on his hips, arms akimbo, and regards General Butler's home and surrounding lawn. Then the two walk quickly up the steps. McGuire knocks. Butler opens the door. Doyle. Sir, my name's Bill Doyle, department leader of the Legion in Massachusetts. Thank you very much for agreeing to see us. Butler nods. McGuire, reaching out with his mitten-like hand. Jerry McGuire, sir, state commander of the department in Connecticut. Well, a year ago. Living in New York now, but still very interested in Legion business. Butler. Gentlemen, please, come on in. Interior, Butler's house, the vestibule. McGuire and Doyle step into the hall, and as they do, McGuire suddenly gives a startled movement. McGuire looking down. What's that? SFX, a purring. Butler. Oh, that's just Wilberforce. Butler looks down. Wilberforce, the household cat, looks at the intruders momentarily, then scurries off to the kitchen. SFX, the rapid movement of padded feet. All walk to the back of Butler's house, where there is a glassed-in office. Interior, Butler's office. Butler sits behind a desk. Doyle and McGuire sit in wooden chairs facing him. Butler. Well, is there some way I can help you fellows? McGuire. Sir, first let me say what an honor it is, as someone who was a fellow Marine, to meet you in person. Butler nods, not without a trace of flattery. McGuire continuing. Bill and I, we served in the Great War. Boy, what an experience that was. McGuire reaches up and taps his skull with his knuckles, as if tapping a cast iron kettle. There is a kettle-like sound. Got a steel plate right here to prove that. Smiles. Butler. I hope it doesn't cause you any pain. McGuire. No, I've got used to it. What I had to go through is just darn small potatoes compared to what some of the boys have had to deal with. Butler nodding. I was just at a veterans hospital a few weeks ago. It was a sorry sight. Doyle. Well, it's the veterans that we're thinking about, sir, and that's why we came here today. See, we're involved with the Legion. We care about it. We care about its values. But we don't think that the people at the top, the ones running the Legion, really care about the veterans the way they should. Butler looks at the two men with increased interest. McGuire, with a breathy chuckle. The royal family, that's what they call them, sir. I guess you've heard that one. Butler, nodding. Yes, the administration, the royal family of the American Legion. Well, I don't know if they quite have the pride to call themselves that, but they certainly act as if they deserve the title. McGuire. That's right. And the way they carry on, the way they talk about helping the common soldier. But look at how things are. Look at the situation of most of these good men. Here we are in the middle of this terrible slump. And what is the royal family doing? They're just doing nothing, that's all. They're sitting on their hands. Doyle. They eat the finest food while the plain soldier just gets a slice of bread. Butler. You find that kind of attitude everywhere, don't you? Doyle. If there was just some way we could unhorse them. Because, sir, that's what we want to do. We want to sweep the house clean. We want a new day. Butler. Well, that sounds like a commendable goal, but how exactly does it involve me? Doyle. We'd like you to come to the next convention, sir. We've arranged a way for you to come. Butler. How's that, without my being invited? Doyle. You are to come as a delegate from Hawaii. Butler. But I do not live in Hawaii. McGuire. See, that's the thing, sir. It does not make any difference. One of the American Legion posts there in Honolulu will not have a delegate. We have arranged to have you appointed by cable, by radio, to represent them. You will be a delegate. Butler. Yes, but I have no interest in going in the back door. McGuire. Sir, this won't be the back door. You must come. Butler. No, I will not do this. Doyle. Well, are you in sympathy with unhorsing the royal family? Butler. Yes, because they've been selling out the common soldier in the Legion for years. These fellows at the top have been getting political plums and jobs and cheating the enlisted men in the army, and I'm for putting them out. But I can't do it by getting in through the back door. McGuire. But, sir, the deck has already been stacked, glancing quickly at Doyle. Sir, I wasn't going to tell you this originally, but I'm the chairman of the Distinguished Guest Committee of the Legion. Butler simply looks at McGuire. McGuire. Well, sir, I tried to get you put down as a distinguished guest. I put you down on the list, but when I went to the White House, I met with Lewis Howe, the secretary for the president, and he just told me to take your name off that list. Doyle, interrupting. That's right, sir. He just took your name right off the list. Butler's face doesn't reveal any emotion, but he keeps quiet as if slightly shocked by the news. McGuire. And weren't you helping Roosevelt back in the last election? Weren't you one of the Republicans for Roosevelt? Butler. Yes, that's true, I was. We had to do something. We had to act. After the way the Hoover administration responded to the bonus march, something had to happen. Doyle. That's right. What the Hoover boys did was awful bad. McGuire, excitedly jumping in. Think about it, and think about how the royal family itself didn't support a bonus. I mean, here we have federal troops firing on veterans and their families, for heaven's sake. And there were the Hoover boys, not giving a damn. And what about the royal family? Did they give a damn? No, sir. They just kept mum and watched the whole thing. Butler stirs, but it is unclear whether he is experiencing the emotion of anger or, as he watches the two men, his expression circumspect, the one of suspicion. Butler, after a beat. Well, what you gentlemen say is entirely true, and it's not a good situation, but I'm afraid there's not much I can do to help you. Unless I'm part of the convention, and not, I should add, as a delegate from Hawaii, I don't really see that there's much I can do. McGuire, emotionally. But, sir, won't you at least think about what we said? In the opinion of some, you'd make a mighty fine commandant. Doyle, tapping McGuire lightly on the arm. We understand what you mean, sir. Of course, sir. Standing. Well, thank you for your time, sir. We'll be leaving then. McGuire, also standing. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, of course. Right, Bill. Butler escorts Doyle and McGuire out of his office. Interior, the vestibule of the house. Doyle. But I trust, sir, that if the situation changes, you'll be able to see us again. Butler, shrugging. I'm willing to see any veteran who's in need. McGuire. Well, that's right. It's the common veterans, the ones in need. That's what we're really thinking about. Butler nods. He opens the door. The chauffeured limousine, which brought the two men to the house, returns, almost, it would seem, as if by magic. It pulls up to the front of the house with the sound, somehow more elegant under its wheels, of gravel crunching. The chauffeur quickly emerges and opens a passenger door, and the two well-dressed men get in. McGuire, turning to Butler. Think about the plain soldier, sir. Butler looks at the two in their fine car and gives them a wave goodbye.